Welcome to the Breadwinner Energy Podcast. I'm your host, Tay Daniels. I'm a certified life and business coach on a mission to help women become rich, powerful, and sustainable. I help women just like you build a life you not only love, but deserve. We believe that every woman deserves to be the breadwinner of her own life, to be rich in life, in love, and happiness, to be confident and powerful while building a sustainable business that creates a lifetime of success. On this podcast, I'm giving you my no BS advice to life, business, and motherhood. So grab your headphones or cover your child's ears and let's get into it. Welcome back to the Breadwinner Energy Podcast. We are kicking off this series with our previous and current Academy students, and I am very excited to start this series because we have some freaking amazing women in this program. I cannot tell everyone enough about them because they are walking proof of what is possible. And so over the next few weeks, we will be sharing stories and episodes with our current and past students, their lives, their journeys, their transformations, and everything that they have done and learned and experienced inside the program. First up is Courtney Cherry, and I'm so excited to have her here today because she is such an amazing human being, and she started in Academy in November of 2021. Yes, and graduated in November 2022. She quit her six-figure 9-to-5. She had no business. She had no clients. She had skills, and we built her a six-figure business that she currently operates today. Welcome, Courtney. Tell us about you. Tell us about your business. Who do you help? How long have you been in business? Tell us everything.
Yes. Hi. So I am Courtney Cherry, and I am the CEO of Writings by Cherry, now officially Writings by Cherry Incorporated. So I am now an S Corp, which is pretty cool. I mean, I guess it's cool. I mean, it's just like a thing really for taxes mostly, but it is nice to kind of have the INC, corporation or whatever. So Writings by Cherry is my business. I'm the cherry on top to your marketing strategy. That's how I see myself. Everything from writing strategic copy and helping you convert your audiences and entertaining and persuading and all the things that are surrounding copy. I understand things from a marketing perspective. So I provide all of that for my services. But really, I say that I'm a mom that just decided to go for it. When I think about where I was it's been 15 months, 16 months, something like that. October 29th of 2021 is when I quit my job. And I had no clue what I was going to do. I knew I was going to do something. So I didn't just, willy-nilly, I'm going to up and quit my job. I did definitely think about it, but I didn't have a plan, right? I didn't quit because I'm jumping into entrepreneurship. Really it was, and I think I've shared this with you, Tay, before this kind of offline, but the pandemic made things so crazy for me, for my son. I have a kid, and when he stopped going to school, he was in the 4th grade. When they went back to school, he was in middle school, and it was just really a jacked up transition for him. Which of course, when you're a mom, that's my number one priority. And so it was pulling for my attention, and it was causing me to leave work. Plus my career had changed so much with the pandemic. I wasn't doing the same kinds of things and interacting with the public the way I was before. And I just felt like I was drowning in a cubicle, something had to change. Yes. And so decided to just take the leap and quit, and kind of just knew that I would do something, but didn't know what it was, but got connected with you mainly because I knew someone that knew you, right? Knew someone that knew you, very close friend of mine. He was actually one of your clients in your VA business. And when he kind of just shared a little bit about your story and how, you basically quit your job and started a business, I'm like, well, okay, this is about what I'm doing. So since she's done it, let me try to connect with her and see if she can help me. Mm-hmm. And after I think I booked what was it, a weekend retreat or a day retreat kind of thing. It was me and Chelsea, your productivity coach, who I'm so proud of. After that weekend, I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I need. When I heard your story, it was so similar to mine. There were so many connections. It made me decide to work with you because I knew I needed some type of guidance and leadership in terms of how to build a business. Because, and again, didn't really even quite know what I was going to do. Remember, I used to think I was going to be a VA. Like,
Yes.
oh yeah, I could be a VA. I could file and I don't know, do things. And when you just started talking about spreadsheets and data entry, I was like, please, like that is the last thing I am interested in doing.
Yes.
And we got to talking more about what my skill set was, and I've always been a writer. Like writing is my natural gift, my natural talent. And you were like, Courtney, you're a storyteller, like copywriting. And that was really the first time I had heard of copywriting in that way. I had definitely done it as a side hustle. I have my backstory is so long and we could talk about that all day long, but you were the first person that really kind of introduced me to copywriting and how it works for coaches, entrepreneurs, consultants, you name it, they need us. And it was just such a natural fit with what I naturally do. And from there, just kind of got started.
This is so good. I like tell everybody about Courtney Cherry. Courtney Cherry is like one of the most amazing students who's come through the program. But when everyone listening hears her story, I want you to know that yes, she is an amazing special unicorn, but also you can do this too. Like it's so possible for you. She is such an example of what is possible. So you quit your 9 to 5, your 6 figure, let's say that you quit your 6 figure
Mhm.
9 to 5.
No, for sure.
You didn't exactly have a plan. You didn't really know what you were doing. You and I had crossed paths through a mutual person,
Mm-hmm.
and you came to this retreat. You bought the retreat, you and Chelsea came to it, and then you joined Academy. But why did you actually join the program? What made you join? You said we connected on my story, but was there anything else?
I mean, so I adopted this mentality early on in my journey that if somebody else can do it, I can do it too.
Yes.
And I think prior to me quitting my job, and I don't know if I shared this, but I had a career for 15 years in the government, right? Like I was raised to have this kind of job. My family is government work, and there's nothing wrong with working for the government. It's a great job. Again, it was paying me very well. I had worked my way up. I had retirement, I had benefits, all of the things that people talk about when they talk
Yes.
about, getting like this career, right? All you have to do is give them 30 years of your life. And when I thought about 30 years, I was like, oh my goodness, in this cubicle for 30 years. So when I decided to just kind of take this leap because I knew that I had to do something different, I adopted this mentality that like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. I always feel like we're all really on an equal playing field. Yes, life throws different people, different circumstances, and, things happen, but we all have the same brain, and, it's possible, right? Like it really is possible. There are so many examples. And if you're open to seeing them, you were really one of the first people that kind of opened my eyes to like what was really possible, in working for yourself and creating a business of your own and being a mom. And so something, and I'm very intuitive. We've talked about that too, constantly. And so something in my spirit was just like, go with it. I'm a little reckless like that, Tay, and it's not for everybody, right? Like some people need to be more calculated and they are more cautious, and there's really nothing wrong with that. We are all on our own unique paths. And prior to me quitting my job for so many years, and I didn't realize that this is what I was doing, but I was working on my mindset. I was working on how I thought about things. I mean, even just the idea of being raised to have a certain type of job and have a certain type of career and live a certain type of life. And this is kind of what everybody in your family is doing. And then all of a sudden you want to go left, like just to transition your mind to even be able to do something like that. It took a long time, but I would listen to podcasts when I would be at my 9 to 5, and I would just kind of envision in my mind like this life that I wanted to have. So I had worked on my mindset unknowingly. I don't think that I say that unknowingly because I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to intentionally work on my mindset. I just began to gravitate towards information that had me seeing the world differently, which then by the time I ran into you, right, by the time I had, because from the outside looking in, it's like, you quit your job? And I was like, yeah, mm-hmm, yep, I did. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're not going to work anymore? Like, no, no, I'm not. And what's crazy is I didn't even know about the whole what do they call it, the Great Resignation. I wasn't even like on that wave. Like, even though it wasn't like, I'm watching the news and people are quitting their jobs and I'm gonna do it too. That was not what was happening at all. It was these circumstances in my life, when you're a mom, especially, and your child is having challenges, like everything, is like centered on that, right?
Yes.
Like that becomes like a laser focus. So I knew that, he just needed more of my support. Again, I was drowning in this cubicle, doing data entry, not being able to get out of the office because we're not seeing clients, because of the pandemic and all of these things. And on the outside looking in, it looked like, oh my God, like this was not, the best decision, or things were crumbling, but really things had to be broken down for me to be where I am now. And
Yes.
having worked on my mindset and then meeting you when I did really was what made me be like, okay, you know what, just go for it. Just go for like I don't know. I don't even know that I thought of like, what's the worst that can happen? It was just something in my spirit said, go for it. And again, if you could do it, I could do it.
Yeah. And I think that honestly is like the biggest pieces that set you apart is that not only did you have this vision of how you wanted to live your life, but you also knew that like my life is coming first. Like I want to live this life, but I also like need to be a mom. And that is something that this program is like so super set on is building that life that you want to live, being at home with your kids, having that flexibility. And while our business and the finances allow us to do that, our focus is building that life for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that between that and then your dedication to being like, this is the life for me was what
Mm-hmm.
ultimately made you so successful in such a short time. So,
Yeah.
okay. And then this is the thing, like some of this stuff, I mean, like some of the questions, right? You have like kind of already answered. So I don't want you to have to reiterate yourself. But obviously, you had never worked with a business coach before, never been in a
No, I
program.
didn't even know, bro. I knew nothing about business coaching, like none of it. In fact, when when my friend mentioned you to me, it wasn't even like, oh, she's this business coach. And they were just like, oh yeah, she teaches other women how to do it too. Like this is what she did, and she teaches women how to do it. I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, no, I knew nothing about coaching or anything like that. That wasn't, again, I was in a 9 to 5
World.
secure
Yeah.
job, like, and really my first route was to try to continue to promote at my company. Like I wasn't necessarily like looking to just burn it all down to the ground. It just
Yeah.
kind of happened that way, but that's what was supposed to happen. And
Yes.
so I think one of the takeaways, for anybody listening is when it looks like, it's all crumbling down, it really is just so that you can get to the foundation of something and rebuild it, solid. So no, I knew nothing about coaching, none of that, but I'm very, very glad that I joined the program. And I think for me, especially, I'm a slow mover. Like, yes, when I think of the grand scheme of things, like 15 months is not a lot of time, and a lot of things have changed, in my life. But the day to day, I'm not as quick to like jump on things. So it took me a minute. I mean, and I shared this on another podcast that I was on. When you go from being like a 9 to 5, I mean, I have worked for someone not every day of my life, but since I
Yes.
was 15 years old, I've had a job. I've reported to someone. I've been told what to do. I have to meet somebody else's expectations. So it's a very different world when you are responsible for all of it. And so it took my mind and my body time to adjust to that. I mean, I think for the first few months, I mean, I joined the academy in like November.
Yep.
And it really, I mean, there was the holidays, because me, again, like you said, my life comes first. And, I slow down during the end of the year, Christmas, birthday, my son's birthday. I'm partying like clear through February, you
Yes.
know.
You went to Hawaii. You were like every other month. I was like, Courtney's on vacation. And then you would come back. And then I was like, Courtney's on vacation. And then she'd
Yeah.
be back.
Yes, yes. I mean, it is my destiny to live a life like that. And I just believe that. And it really, it took me a while because I definitely grew up thinking, you have to work hard and you have to, put in the work and you got to grind and you've got to, I mean, I've worked 7 days a week. I've had 3 jobs at one time,
Yeah.
side hustling, all types of things. And so to have the life that I have now, it took my mind and my body and all of those things a minute to catch up.
Yeah.
But being in academy, I was forced to show up, and I needed that. I was forced to show up. I knew that somebody was going to come looking for me if I did not show up. I mean, you of course, if we miss something here, you miss something there, but
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, okay, what's going on? What's up here? So that level of accountability was really important. And then I think too, again, being in community and hearing other people's stories. If they can do it, I can do it. If they can do
Yes.
it, I can do it. Like that was just the model that I had. You had another copywriter in the group when I first came in. And when I would hear her story, I mean, remember, I would be like, what about me? Why isn't it that? But I just, you
Lots
know
of
what?
breakdowns.
I kept believing if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
If this other person in the group can, do this and accomplish this, then I can do it too. And it subconsciously pushes you,
Yeah.
even though you're dealing with the self-doubt and the fear and the resistance and the kids and all the behind the scenes stuff. Being in community, being in a group of women who are, having various successes. And it is about what success looks like to you, right? Like for some people, success was just checking something off the to-do list. For other people, it was
Yes.
making a sale. So just being in community like that, it subconsciously rubs off on you. So even though it may not feel like it, it really does have an impact.
Absolutely. So, can you actually share the experience of being in the Academy community? Tell us what it was like for you.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it was great. It was, you know what? It's a place to keep it real.
Mhm.
It is definitely a place to keep it real. I really, really like that. You bond. I mean, I have not met any one of those ladies in person, and yet, we still support each other on socials. I have personal relationships with a couple. I mean, it was wonderful. It was like a group hug, like the ultimate group hug every week.
Yes.
Really, really, super supportive. The Voxer chat is a bunch of fun. There's all type of jokes and stuff. We share wins. We share when things are, troubling.
Yeah.
And it really, really is a supportive group. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. And I loved having you in the group too because you were such a light in the group. Everyone loved them some Courtney. She would bring the fire, the heat, the energy, like all the time. She was everyone's favorite cheerleader. So it's mutual, right? Like it's that mutual exchange of energy in the group that I love. But what was your actual favorite part of the program? Did you have a favorite part?
Hmm, that's a good question. I think for sure having just a sounding board, right? Like being able to meet with you every week and ask your questions directly and get direct feedback and get walked through things, get your questions answered. And sometimes the answers would even come from other people in the group, like, oh yeah, like I went through this and you can use this program. Or I mean, so the sharing and the exchanging of information is amazing. The referrals, I definitely got clients from being in the program, so that was amazing too. I mean, you definitely make money.
Yeah.
I definitely made my money back. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the connection plus the camaraderie, because that is important. It is important. Even when you're struggling, like to know that you just have a place where like people really get it. Like,
Yeah.
it's one thing to be able to like share with your spouse or share with a friend, but if they're not in it like that, then
Yeah.
they
I
don't
don't get it.
necessarily always get it. So that was amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing too. It's like I don't think people understand that when you're in this delicate space of like growing and building, how easy it is to be thrown off by something so small, but to have a place to come back and to come to center and be like, okay, they have my back, they have my best interest. That's a game changer. That was a game changer for me, even being in
Yeah.
the program too. So,
Mhm.
okay, what specific tools did you learn and use in the program, or you still use? What were your takeaways?
Well, I learned a lot about marketing. I learned a lot about marketing, which I don't care what you're doing, what you're selling, what you got going on. If you're a product based, if you a service based, if you whatever, you got to know how to market. You got to know how to market yourself. And as a copywriter, it's really important that I also understand marketing for my clients, just so that I can help them, come up with the correct messaging and the components of a funnel and all of those types of pieces. So definitely like the marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. A lot of the organizational, like putting like scheduling your socials, things like that, having the money dates with yourself. And the constant mindset stuff. What does six figure you look like? How does she show up? What kind of decisions does she make? Are you operating from that place? Gosh, there's so many things that I still use in takeaways and all of that stuff. But those are probably the main ones for sure.
Yeah. And then earlier, before we started recording, you had mentioned that one of the things that you took away from this is that you ultimately get to build the life and the business that you want. Can you
Mhm.
tell people more about that?
Yeah. So, what I've learned is that when you have a coach, right, a lot of people, I feel like sometimes think like the coach is supposed to have the answers and the coach is going to be the one to give you, lay it all out for you and all you have to do is follow. But I think like if you look at it like a recipe, right? Like yes, at least for me, when I get a recipe, like yes, I could follow the recipe, but I'm gonna always add some razzle dazzle, right? My
Same.
taste buds are different from other people's taste buds, and I like a little razzle dazzle. And so I feel like that's the same thing with the coach, right? Like you provide the recipe, you provide the different options and pathways and directions that you can take, but ultimately it really is about choosing what's best for you,
Yeah.
and what works for you in the season you're in. Even I have not been heavy on socials, but I've still been able to get clients and make money. I chose to go more of the in-person marketing route, where I would go to events and meet people that way, right? That was kind of what I chose.
Yeah.
So that is one of the things that I like about you specifically as a coach, that it wasn't like, okay, you have to follow this to a T. And like, if you don't, then it's not, nothing else is going to work. You're really about helping us to figure out like what path is going to work best for us, what feels good, because really what feels good is what's going to bring you the best results. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't, you can that's what's going to bring you the best results, when it feels good to you, because the energy that you put behind it feels good. It doesn't feel forced and it doesn't feel pressured. And so that was definitely, I think, really important for me, because my life is unique. We all have our own different unique situations, so it's important that you can build a business and a life that works for you. I'm very much about my freedom. Me, I do not dream of
Yes.
labor. Okay. And
Yeah.
I think that comes from having started working so long. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't think that I'm a hard worker. Like honey, I know what that's like, but I'm just entering a different era of my life. And I am so amazed at what I've been able to manifest. I mean, the way my life looks, I mean, today, even my son has a basketball game, 3:30 in the afternoon. Like, how do they just expect parents, to go to work and be at the basketball game? Like, how does that work? So,
Yes.
I wake up with an immense amount of gratitude every single day. I mean, I'm oozing with gratitude to be able to, you know, have a career that is operating in my natural gifts and talents, um, but to still be living the life that I wanted to live. I mean, it's like, and this is just the beginning. This is just
I
the beginning,
know, you just started. And this is
Mhm.
like this is what we talk about, the luxury. Like this is the luxury. Like going to your son's basketball game,
Mm-hmm.
sleeping in, taking time off, traveling. Like it's such a wide range of luxury that you've created for your own life. And so tell us what has actually changed since you joined the program.
Well, I mean, I've built a business. I have built a sustainable business, consistent income, multiple four figures. I'm this close to a 10K month. I'm very, very, I mean, I can't even, I was sharing before we started talking. I remember so vividly, Tay. I remember so vividly on a call, like, where are the clients that are going to pay you $1,000? Like, where are the clients that are going to pay you five figures? Like, where are they? And
Yeah.
you and the other copywriter, even in the group, they were like, they're everywhere. Just they're everywhere. And I was like, oh, they're everywhere. And yes, they are everywhere. They are everywhere. I mean, belief is such, it is such a, it's 90% of it. It's 90% of it. And um it's interesting because you can see when a person doesn't believe the difference in what happens. Belief is everything, and that's definitely one thing that you I think is really foundational about the academy too. Is just your mindset. And you bring in so many different other tools to help us talk about mindset and I think I even was able to do a guest training and kind of
Yeah.
shared some of my ideals about, reprogramming your mind and your brain, and, through hypnosis and all of those things. But it really, really works. I improve.
You are.
Um, yeah. So,
So now you have four-figure months from one
yes,
client.
yes, four-figure months. Um, you know, and really what has changed most about my life is my schedule. I really do. I'm very at peace. My mornings are slow, which I enjoy. I used to have to get up at the crack of dawn, often before the sun, get the kid up, get everybody out the door, get down to school, get across town, at work all day. It was a lot. It was a lot. It's wear and tear on your body, on your mental, on your physical, all of those things. And so now, I get up in the morning, take the kiddo to school, and my morning's kind of like, well, let's see what's on the menu for today. It might be going back and laying down for a minute because I was up later in the evening doing work. And, I need another hour to just kind of be before I start my day, or it's going to the gym, or maybe I have a meeting with a client, or I'm working on something that's due in a day or two. I mean, my day runs the gamut, but it's mine. It's mine, and I get to say what I'm doing, schedule it out how I need to, take breaks where I need to, be where I need to be. I mean, I have done work from the nail shop getting a pedicure. I've done work like sitting at basketball practice waiting for my son to get done. I think that was one of the things, just being not tied to a desk,
Yeah.
and being able to go where I, in different environments, sit at a coffee shop. I've sat in hotel lobbies and did work. I mean, like I said, I wake up with an immense amount of gratitude every single day that I am able to earn an income and I have surpassed my 9 to 5 income. I've surpassed my 9 to 5 income. And I'm able to have my freedom. Like it really is possible. It really is possible. I'm such a regular girl. Like if people only knew how regular I am, and how I really just changed everything. And
I love
it's
it. I freaking love it. Like every time I hear your story, it just like I could cry because it's so freaking amazing that in a year, 15 months, you have completely changed your life based on changing your mindset, showing up, investing in yourself. Like
yeah,
literally, that's
yeah.
it. So for
Mm-hmm.
everyone listening today who's thinking
Mm-hmm.
about joining the program, what
Mm-hmm.
advice would you give them?
You know what? I would tell them to join, and I would tell them to join because guidance, you don't have to go at this by yourself.
Yeah.
You can go with it. What do they say? You want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Like having someone to walk you through, because like you'll get in the weeds with us. Like you'll ask the tough questions. And you're like, okay,
Yes.
let's look at this. What's happening here? What are your thoughts and feelings around what's happening here? So you get a comprehensive just full bird's eye view of what it means to be a business owner, from practical steps to mindset to hiring, if that's what you want. Like you know me, I'm not really big on looking to have an agency, but if you want that, if you want to have hire and grow a team, you can help with that. If you want to stay more of a solopreneur, you can help with that. Like, again, you really help people to just figure out what works for them, and then just hold them accountable for showing up and celebrating, their wins along the way. So I would definitely encourage anybody listening to definitely join Academy. Definitely join Academy. It can be scary sometimes to make the investment, but it's definitely well worth it if you're willing to do the work. And that's with no matter what you do, no matter what program, system, who it is. I mean, you could learn from the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. And it still is all about how much effort you're willing to put in it. But it doesn't have to be effort from a place of like stress and pressure. Like I really eased my way. Yes, I really did. I eased my way. I did things as I needed to do them. I would go back to the drawing board if I needed to refix something. One of the things that I think a lot of us do is we spend so much time planning and preparing and fixing and readjusting, and we just don't go after it messy. And I mean, really, and that's kind of what I did. Like, as soon as I kind of got my feet under me, and you even helped me, okay, you need a CRM, right? Like, you need a place for the clients to come, and you need to be able to send your invoices. And so once I got like all of the practical stuff built, it was like, okay, let's go find the people, and I'll worry about the social media later. I'll worry about kind of perfecting the website later. Yes, I'll get an email list at some point, but like right now, it's just about taking action, about putting myself out there and finding people who are looking for what I have. I mean, that's business, right? That what I found is most of the time clients, they care about that stuff, but if you are able to accurately explain your value to another person and how you can serve them, the other stuff is secondary.
100%.
It really is.
Really is. And we actually used to have something in the programs called Quick and Dirty, and we teach you how to do quick and dirty business to bring the clients, to make the money, and then building those other sustainable pieces later. And like Courtney said, she made her investment back. This was not only her first year in business, but she came in with no clients. She came in with no business and still made her investment back. And so, yes.
In fact, you know what? I have a story, and I don't know if you remember this. So I joined the Academy November 21.
Yep.
By the end of November, beginning of December. So I think I've shared, I was always side hustling. I've side hustled as a writer, but probably never charged more than $100 for a project. But got with you and started to just kind of understand, again, the value that I bring, and how much to charge for that value. And I got a call out of the blue from someone who knew that I was used to side hustle, and they wanted me to work on a project that paid $2,500. And I had been in the Academy 1 month. And I hadn't even went and looked for this person. It came to me. And I say that to say that when you get in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, the universe just, it gives you confirmation. And so I felt like after having joined Academy and then immediately getting it came out the blue, y'all. Like, this was not, I promise, was, I did know this person, but I hadn't talked to them in a while. Like, this was not somebody that I was in regular daily communication. They had been saying for months, I want you to help me with something. This literally came out of the blue. And so that was confirmation for me that, okay, I had made the right decision. I had aligned with the right community, and that I was going to be okay. So you just never know how, when you take that step and you choose to believe. I mean, I think about all the time how I could have said like, nah, I can't quit my job. Like, God, I want to quit. Like, I want to quit so bad, but man, I can't. That wouldn't be smart. I've got my son, I've got to figure that I've got to pay bills. I'm a, single parent. I don't have a husband or anything. It is all on me. But something in my spirit just said, go for it. Just go for it. Like, you got this. You know you're going to be okay. Like, you know you're going to be okay. Like, I have skills. Once you have a skill at something, like, nobody can take away your skills. So, I knew that I was going to be okay, which is a great thing about the program, right? Because once you go through the program, you learn marketing, you learn how to price yourself, you learn how to set up everything. You have that knowledge forever. So it's a long-term investment. It's not just like this short-term thing.
Exactly. Like, it pays off too, because you bring your skills or you bring something you're interested in, your passions, and we build a business around it that sustains. Like, that is ultimately the goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here and shared your story with everyone. You are just like one amazing human. Tell people where they can find you, connect with you,
Yes.
see you.
So I am trying to get better on social. So I am writings by Cherry on Instagram. Send me a DM. Like, I'm that girl. You can
Yes.
definitely holler at me. I am not, like, too good to respond to a DM or answer questions, because I really, like I said before, I'm such a regular person, and to see how much my life has changed, I really truly am passionate about, like, just helping other people to believe that they can change too, that they
Yes.
can, that you can do it. So yes, hit me up on IG. My website, if you want to check that out, if you're interested in copywriting services, is Writings by Cherry, writings with an S by cherry.com. So you can find me there. And yeah, that's
Amazing. I love it. It'll all be linked below. So if you guys are listening, you can just click below, go holla at Courtney, say hello. She's like, you will love her. She's just the freaking best. And thank you again for being here today.
Oh, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. I so appreciate you and all of the work that you do. And I wanted to say too, like, if you're someone that's more shy, like, it's okay. Like, you
Yes.
don't have to be this, on fire person. And I think I shared too, I don't know if I said this, but I was confused for like the first couple of months, even, like, because everybody else had a business and I didn't have anything. And I didn't quite get it all at first. So, like, even if you are that girl, right? If
Yeah.
you are just like, something is in your spirit says to go for it, but you have no idea how, trust me, just go for it. If that, like, little small voice inside of you is telling you to do it, because you'll figure out the how. You really will. You only need to see. I always use this example of the next 200 feet in front of you. If you were to drive from California to, wherever the edge of the East Coast is, you could do it at night, because all you need to see is the next 200 feet in front of you. You don't always have to know what's going to happen 6 months down the line. You don't even have to know what's going to happen in a year. Just
Yes.
what can you do today, that'll help you tomorrow? And I think another thing that I used to do too was tell myself, like, are you okay today? Like, do you have everything you need today? Yep. Are you okay for the week? Like, do you and your kid have everything you need for the week? I do. Okay, what about the next 30 days? How's the next 30 days looking like? Okay, if we were good there, like, I really had to block out thinking about everything else, because
Yes.
it is overwhelming when you're trying to do something you've never done before and you're trying to build something from the ground up. I don't know anybody that's ever done what I'm doing. And I definitely didn't know any other copywriters until I met the one, in our program.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it can be done. It can be done. And you can do it at your pace in a way that's easy. I mean, this wasn't easy, but it was easy. Like, it was just a lot of ease into it. I really intentionally avoided the stress, because I knew that focusing on that was just going to derail me. And so I had to block out everything else and just kind of really take it day by day. And 15 months later,
Here
here
you
I
are, a
am.
six-figure CEO, girlfriend.
They don't call it breadwinner energy for nothing. Okay.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, this has been fabulous. Again, thank you for being here. To the listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. Go connect with Courtney. You will not be sorry. And we'll chat with you on the next episode.
Bye.